Hey everyone, Dockwell here, and welcome to another one of my Dota 2 hero guides. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sven. Sven is a carry hero, primarily played as carry, and the way that you can think about this hero is that he farms extremely quickly, faster than almost any other carry in the game because he has a built-in Battle Fury as one of his abilities. And so you really only need maybe lifesteal at the very least, sometimes not even that, to farm really fast on this hero. And so because of that, the way you think about this hero is he hits a 2 or 3 item timing faster than like any other carry and then just dominates the game. And so what you want to be doing is you want to be farming pretty much only or exclusively farming in the beginning of the game, maybe using your ult, which you can think of the ult as just like giving you more damage, and you can use that to like clear ancient stacks, maybe take a tower, maybe do a team fight or two early in the game, but primarily you want to get your 2 to 3 items up, hit this timing where you become a beast, and you become so strong that no other carry can like man fight you or anything, and when you have your ultimate on, everybody just has to run away. You even want to get to the point where the enemy mid or carry is popping BKB and still running away because they simply cannot man fight you. And that's the goal on Sven. But then the flip side, the counter to that, is that if you're not farming efficiently, if you're not getting your items up, and you don't hit this 2 or 3 item timing to pretty much dominate the game and be stronger, then the enemy can kind of catch up, they can get their items, then they can kite you, they can, delay and stall out the duration of your ultimate when you're really strong. They can see you pop ult, they can all run away, wait till it's, done, wait till the ult is over, and then they'll just run in and they'll run at you, and then they can fight you a lot easier. So basically, you want to be able to hit that timing. You want to farm really quickly, and he's a really good hero to practice carry, to farm quickly, to get your items up quickly, because it's the most important thing on this hero. Because later on, like I said, he can kind of fall off as people start to kite him a little more. People start to be able to not necessarily man up on him, because anytime he has his ultimate, it's hard to man up on this hero. But they can just kind of work around those things a little easier as people get more and more items. Because with Sven, you can hit like a 20-minute, 25-minute timing where nobody can touch you in the entire game. And so that's basically how to think of Sven. The one other thing I'll say is he is sort of an anti-illusion hero in that he has a built-in cleave. So when you hit this timing and you do tons of damage, he'll just cleave through PL illusions. He'll just cleave through Naga illusions. But on a similar vein, if they get like a ton of items, then it can feel a little bit worse to play Sven against them because maybe he isn't clearing through all of those illusions in just like 2 hits like he normally would. So that is how to think about Sven, and now we'll jump in to look at his abilities and see how he's able to do that. So now that we understand how to think about Sven in general, we can take a look at his abilities and see how he's able to be that carry that farms really fast, and also a carry that does so much damage when he has his ultimate up that basically no one can man fight him. So first, we're going to look at his Q ability, Storm Hammer. It's pretty simple, actually. It's just a stun. So you just click it on an enemy, and the Storm Hammer comes out. It takes a little bit to travel there, and then it hits the enemy. But unlike something like Wraith King, it actually does an AoE stun. So anything in that AoE, as you see here, you click it, it has that little AoE. It stuns everybody in the AoE. So it's a little bit better than something like a Wraith King stun or just another single target stun in that it is AoE. It's a small AoE, but if you get a bunch of people grouped together, it can be really effective because it's a pretty good stun, does a decent amount of damage, and can be really killer, especially if you get it on 2 people. And then next we can take a look at his cleave ability. It's just called Great Cleave. And basically this is the built-in Battle Fury that he has. So if we have the axe come up here and we see Sven hit this dummy, we just see that the cleave ability goes also to Sven. So this also works, as you can kind of tell, with his Storm Hammer ability, in that you can stun, we'll have the axe come closer, you can stun multiple people, and then you cleave through them, obviously. So it's like basically synergizes in that way. You have this cleave that obviously helps for farming, but also does a ton of damage where people can't even stand, next to the person getting hit, or they might actually die because of this cleave. So pretty much that's the farming ability, but also helps you do a lot of damage in team fights as well. So that's pretty much the Battle Fury. Then next we have Warcry. This is a pretty simple spell. It's not really flashy or anything, but it does give a couple interesting things. The first is bonus movement speed. So say you're running away, you just pop this, you go a little bit faster. And also, so whether you're running away, running in, doing whatever, it helps you farm a little better because you can walk from camp to camp a little bit faster, those kinds of things. So it's helpful to pop it then. And it also gives you bonus armor. As you can see, it gives actually a decent bit of bonus armor. The duration isn't long, but if you're getting initiated on, you're going in, you're jumping into the fight, using this can be really useful because then it allows you to man fight even better than you otherwise would. So that's pretty much the Warcry ability. Now keep in mind, it does have an AoE because it actually affects everybody in that AoE, all of your allies. So it also is a good team fighting ability because everyone gets that movement speed and everyone in that AoE gets that armor. So it's really, really good in team fights as well for everybody. It's kind of like a team buffing ability in that way. So those are his basic abilities, and then we can look at his ultimate, which pretty much makes him do insane damage and makes him, you know, one of the best man-up heroes in the game, and this is God Strength. So what you do is you pretty much just pop it, Sven turns red, and now he just does a ton of damage. So, as you can see, based on all the damage we were doing before, this is a lot more damage than what we were doing previously. So, to get into details, it just gives you bonus damage. Basically, it's given strength and stuff before, too. They've changed it up a little bit, but regardless, it always works generally the same, where it just gives you more damage. Whether it's giving you a lot of strength, or bonus damage, you know, however it works and however they change it, in general, it's always worked kind of the same way in that it gives you just a ton of damage. So just think of it in that way. The specifics aren't always important, but it just gives you a lot of damage, and obviously gives you more damage the higher level it goes. Now, the important thing to know about this, and I kind of mentioned it before, is that it lasts, right now it lasts for 40 seconds. Obviously, whatever they do when they change it, you know, depending, it doesn't really matter. The point is that it lasts for a certain duration, and then the cooldown is obviously longer than that. So right now it's 40 seconds and 110 seconds. If they change it, it doesn't really matter. The point is that when you don't have this up, you need to be extremely careful. You need to basically be passive because you're not going to be able to man up on people. You're not going to be able to hit people. I mean, maybe you can if you're really, really far ahead and then it's a really good game and you're like crushing it, then maybe you can, and that's kind of, you should judge for yourself. But the thing is, when you don't have this up, you don't have God's Strength up, or you don't have it on, or it wears out, the enemy knows that, okay, Sven is a lot weaker now, and now we can just fight them, and it's going to be a lot easier to take those fights than if he has this. So that's kind of how you need to use the hero, is you need to farm early, obviously, with his abilities here. But then this ability, it's key to know when to use it and not pop it too early, not pop it at the wrong time, all of those kinds of things, because when you don't have this available, you're a lot weaker. So that's pretty much Sven. It's pretty simple. Now, I will say I'll add a couple things. Usually you buy Echo Saber. You don't always buy these items, but like it's a lot easier. Like when you pop your ult, you know, you run in, you stun somebody, you get 2 hits out. It does a ton of damage. You also sometimes buy Daedalus, you buy other items like this, just to do a ton of damage, because basically what you want to do on this hero, once you farm, once you popped your ult, you want to jump in, stun somebody, and like 2-shot them. That's pretty much the goal. Just click people down, kill them extremely quickly, don't let them even react or fight or anything like that. And so as that, I will mention the Ags and the Ags Shard. Now, they used to actually do one in the same before they added the Shard, but basically this changes his Storm Hammer, and we may have this change in the future, I don't know, but basically what it does is the Ags transports Sven along the Storm Hammer. So as we see here, it makes Sven travel with it, which can be really, really good for initiating. And then the Ags Shard upgrade basically just removes any, like, or dispels. So basically, if we give this axe here a Yules, and the axe Yules, whoops, the axe Yuleses himself, and then we Stormhammer, we see the axe comes down from the Yules instantly. So it's the same thing with Yules, it's the same thing with Glimmer Cape, anything like that. They use it on themselves. Well, you have this shard, well, now they can't use it. So it's like Force Staff, Glimmer Cape, anything like that, any defensive item like that, Sven can be really good against with these two. And I just thought I'd mention that because that is really important. It's the way that he doesn't get kited later in the game. So that is basically how to think of Sven. Farm early. Make sure to know when to use your ultimate. If you're getting kited later, you know, maybe buy Ags and these kinds of things to stop people from running away. And you want to buy items to 2-shot people. Obviously, you can follow the guides and stuff, but pretty much you want to jump in, kill supports really quickly, man fight enemy carries, and those kinds of things. So that's Sven's abilities, and now we can jump into a game and see how to play him in a game. Now we're going to jump into a replay of Paparazzi playing Sven, and I just wanted to briefly comment on something before we get into, you know, everything else that he's doing. Just in the laning stage, we skipped a little bit because I don't think it's that big of a deal. He pretty much just offers a stun. It's not really that big of a deal. Yes, they got kills, but that's mainly the Dawnbreaker. But I just wanted to show you here, that he's level 4, but he only has 2 points in Stormhammer, no points in the rest of his abilities. That's because he wants to level Cleave, but he knows that if he levels it, he's going to push the lane out. But you see, as soon as they go on him, just for the possibility of extra damage, he does level the Cleave. So it's not like he was taking stats or anything. He was just not leveling Cleave because he knows that the lane is going to push if he has Cleave, because he's going to do, every time he tries the last hit, he's going to do extra damage to the creeps around it, and the lane is naturally going to push. Now, I wouldn't necessarily suggest you do that in your games if you're playing Sven, but what I will say is that's just something to consider. It pretty much demonstrates the point that you're going to want to level Grey Cleave early, and so it's going to push the lane. And so because Sven doesn't have the best kill threat early on, unless it's a pretty weak lane like with a Pudge, or he has a really strong laner like a Dawnbreaker with him, which is what happened this game, you're pretty much not going to kill a lot. You just have a stun, and that's really it. You don't want to be just going in maybe until you get your 6, you get your ultimate up. So, because of that, you want to communicate to your support, I'm going to push the wave, I want you to pull. And even if your support doesn't pull, then you push the wave and then you go pull, because that is the way you want to play Sven, especially early on. And then once you hit your level 6, which is what I wanted to show you here, he goes back to the lane like another time because he's flying out. I believe he's flying out his Morbid Mask now, his lifesteal now, so that he goes back to the lane. They go in for another kill because he is so far ahead right now. But you'll see as soon as this Morbid Mask flies to him and they're done like going in on this kill, he pretty much never returns to the lane. So this is similar to like Luna or Medusa or other heroes that farm extremely quickly, that farm jungle extremely quickly, that have a built-in Battle Fury ability. They pretty much can leave the lane extremely early because actually they get more farm out of the jungle and not having to deal with contesting enemies. So they get one last kill on the Pudge. He has his Morbid Mask and he says, okay, this lane is over. It's 6.5 minutes. I'm done laning. I'm going to push this last wave out, as you see here. And then as soon as he's done with this, he goes directly to the jungle and he doesn't return to the lane ever again. So we'll just fast forward here. And what he does is he actually pops his ultimate to clear jungle camps. And so that's what I wanted to show you here, is that he transitions to the jungle, but then he basically never returns to the lane, and he just farms jungle. And it's okay early on to pop your ultimate to farm jungle, to transition to the jungle, even to take towers. Because early on, I think a lot of people think, okay, I want to use my ultimate to farm creep camps. But that's actually, or to farm heroes, or to kill heroes and do a lot of damage to heroes. But that's not necessarily what you want to do with Sven early on. You actually want to be popping his ultimate pretty liberally, pretty much off cooldown, in order to farm quicker, because he doesn't do a lot early, and you want to hit these timings. So you pretty much want to use his ultimate off cooldown to clear jungle stacks, to clear camps, to get through the jungle quicker. And that's how you want to use his ultimate. Now, if you are in a lane and you're dominating the lane and you're able to stay in the lane and you want to push a tower with it, or you want to help your team push mid tower or something like that, you can do that. But like you see here, he uses his ultimate as soon as it's off cooldown, as soon as he's in the triangle at 8.5 minutes to clear this big ancient stack. And he pretty much did not return to the lane a single time after 6.5 minutes. And he used his ultimate twice since then to take the jungle. And so that's how you want to think about Sven. That's how you want to think about his farming, because you want to farm really, really quickly. You see he's level 9 at 8-some minutes. It's crazy how fast you can farm on this hero. And that's how you want to be thinking about Sven early on, because getting those few item timings is just so, so important. And so that's pretty much Sven's laning stage, and that's how you can transition to farming on him a lot in the early game. We skipped ahead a little bit here, and he has been getting involved. As you just saw at the end of the clip, he's kind of using the end of his ultimate, and he's done that a couple times after he cleared a big ancient stack to participate in team fights. So that's kind of a higher level thing. I wouldn't necessarily say you have to do that, but I just wanted to show you this, that he went back to base, he regened up after a fight, and then he just comes top and immediately pops his ultimate again after the fight, which he had his ultimate popped, and he just uses it to take a tower like I was talking about. And if you wanted to watch this replay, you could see that he practically uses his ultimate off cooldown every single time it's up for the first 15 to 20 minutes. And as you can see right now, it's 14 minutes in the game. He has participated a lot, so he has gotten a lot of, kill gold and those kinds of things. So it's a little bit inflated because of his extremely good participation, as we'll go to net worth here. So he is like crushing it in net worth. But that's just how Sven works. And obviously, he's a great player. He's #1 in China, so that makes sense. But you see at 14 minutes, he has Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, and he's about to get his Blink. Now, I don't expect you to get that at 14 minutes, but think about it that he's playing against some of the best players in the world. It's definitely possible that you could get something like this. You could get maybe 15, 16 minutes, hit this 3-item timing that's just insane, and then you pop your ultimate and you just do so much damage that there's like nothing that the enemy can do once you have these 3 items. Maybe you get, you know, BKB, you get another item, you get 4 items at around 20 minutes, and then you're just going to be such an insanely strong hero that there's absolutely nothing that the enemy can do to you, and that is kind of the goal on Sven. I think this represents it amazingly. So it's 15 minutes, pre-15 minutes, he gets this 3-item timing, which is just going to be insane. He's going to be able to pop ultimate, you know, blink in, storm hammer, like cleave down someone in like 2 seconds, 2 hits, 3 hits, whatever, and he's just going to be this huge beast on the map. And so that's how you want to think about Sven, and you really don't want to get too involved early unless you're able, you know, to just use that ultimate to kind of help out in a team fight or something. But you see, as soon as he gets this 3-item timing, he looks to get aggressive, take the towers, take over the map, and just dominate the game, which is kind of the whole concept of Sven. So I think this is a great example of that and how to play him early after you're done farming. But obviously he's not done farming, he just is able now to participate a little bit more, be way more aggressive, be kind of a frontline tanky, initiating like carry hero to just go in and just kill anybody that he possibly sees. And so this is the kind of the final thing we see. They're going to defend this tower, blink in, ultimate, he like 3 shots the support there, and everybody just knows you got to run away as soon as you see a Sven. 3 shots the Pudge there. So it's just insane how much damage this hero does, and I think this is the perfect example of that. So that's kind of Sven mid-game. That's really Sven through the rest of the game. Honestly, there's not much more that I need to show you for this. This is just how you play Sven. Now that he has his 3 items, now that he has, you know, his blink, his initiation, and he can do a lot of damage, when he has his ultimate up, he's going to be aggressive. From here, he's just going to get BKB, become more survivable, not be able to be kited as much. He might get crit to do even more damage. He might get, you know, Ags and Ags Shard if he needs to like deal with people kiting him, anything like that. It's just scaling from here with more farms. You see, when he's doesn't have his ultimate up, he chooses to hit creeps more. When he has his ultimate up, he's looking to get extremely aggressive, blink in, stun people, and just cleave people down. And so that is honestly just how you play Sven. You see, it's only 16.5 minutes, but the way the map feels, it feels a lot later. With the way he has, you know, with how much net worth he has, with the item timings that he has, and with the way that this game feels, the amount of damage he is doing, it doesn't feel like 16 minutes. It kind of, if I had to guess and I was just looking at this without knowing the time, I'd say it's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes for a normal carry. But this is not a normal carry. This is Sven. He does insane damage, farms so quickly, and I think this is the perfect example of how to play him in the game. So I hope that helps you guys understand Sven. As always, thanks for watching. If you like my videos, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all of those things. Be sure to join the Discord if you haven't. The link is in the description. I also have a Patreon available for anyone who wants coaching. Link is also in the description. And as always, if you want to request a replay review, you can do so. You can actually do that on the Discord now. So do all of those things. I'm really excited for the future, guys. So thanks for watching. As always, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.